Welcome to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And in today's video we are going to be looking at centre-back Jeison Murillo in a lot more detail. Who is he? What can he bring to Barcelona? And the big question right now, if and when he's going to sign. So let's not mess about here, let's get straight into it, onto the reports. And basically right now Barcelona are closing in on the signing of Colombian centre-back Jeison Murillo, who will come in from Valencia on a 6-month loan deal. We could pay a loan fee of around €2 million, and we could have the option to sign the Colombian permanently when his loan expires this coming summer. Murillo today missed Valencia training, and he also said goodbye to his fellow teammates as the move moved ever closer. Barcelona not announcing anything today, but it could happen and be completed in the coming days, this particular loan move. Barça have already spoken with Valencia and Murillo's representatives ahead of that completion, and also two very important things to note would be, number one, Jeison Murillo can play in the Champions League this season. Even though he's already played for Valencia, UEFA have changed the rules and now you can represent two teams in one season. And number two, a very important one, Murillo will not be classed as a non-EU player in La Liga. Despite being Colombian, his time in Europe as a professional means that he has dual citizenship and he will not count as a non-EU player. That's the latest. Murillo seems to be coming, so the big question, who is he, what's his credentials, and what can he bring to FC Barcelona? And as always, with any player arriving at Barcelona, it's really important not only to learn about the player themselves, but important to learn about their style of play. Even for a defender, it's really important that we have the right kind of players to slot into our system to adapt seamlessly to our back line and our style of play. And with regard to Murillo, I think he's actually going to slot in pretty well. He's going to come into the team, he should be able to adapt. It's not going to be seamless, but he should be able to adapt given some time on the pitch. He's actually quite a short centre-back by nature, standing at just 6 foot tall, not dissimilar in many ways to Samuel Umtiti in his stature in terms of his height. He's quite small for a centre-back, but he might not be the tallest, but he is a very strong player, really good upper body strength, a really dominating defender, and he's also pretty athletic as well, which suits us really nicely. We like to have athletic defenders when we can, given that we can often play with that high line. He can cover in behind, he can close down the space, he's got a decent amount of pace as well. That's really important for a player coming through at Barcelona. He's a centre-back as well, who, as always, we need players who can play with their feet. And I actually think that Murillo isn't exactly Piqué, he's not on Teddy level in terms of playing out the back, but I would say basically he's pretty decent on the ball. He can play with the ball at his feet, he can play a certain amount of passes. I wouldn't exactly describe him as your perfect ball-playing centre-half, but he's certainly capable of passing. He's got a decent first touch, which is absolutely fine for a backup centre-back, and for what we basically need him for coming into this team as an emergency centre-back. I think Murillo, on the face of it, is a very solid defender. And Murillo right now, 26 years of age, was actually a surprise to me. I thought he was a lot older than that. When I first heard the rumour, I thought he was a lot older than 26. I've heard about him now for year upon year. We all knew him at Inter Milan. I knew him before that at Granada as well, and it seems like he's been around for quite a long time, but he is only 26 years old, which is certainly a good age for a centre-back. He spent a lot of time in Spain as a professional and also in Serie A as well. He started at Udinese, where he didn't actually play a single game. From there, he made the move to their sister club Granada, where he ended up making 53 appearances for Granada and impressed during his time there. He spent some time as well in the Spanish Segunda Division with Las Palmas on loan, making 41 appearances. He was looked at by Inter Milan, he was seen by them, and he was signed by Inter, where he went on to play the most matches of his career so far, appearing in 69 appearances across all competitions, and did pretty well in Italy, before finally, after initially being loaned by Valencia themselves, they were impressed with what they saw and they signed Murillo permanently from Inter for €12 million, where he's then gone on to make 20 appearances in total for Valencia. And of course, he's also a Colombian international. He's seen himself capped 27 times at international level, and he's appeared in both the 2015 and 2016 Copa America tournaments for his country and some World Cup qualification games as well for Jeison Murillo in a career so far that's seen him mostly impress where he's been at. He's often left a good impression. He's often been very, very well thought of in the clubs that he's played for. And at Valencia, it's a really, really strange one because he's actually gone from being a very, very talented player, the first name on the team sheet in their defence, to actually being well out of favour. And that brings us on to his form right now. And his recent form is very, very difficult to tell where he's at right now, to be perfectly honest, simply because he's hardly played for Valencia this season. He's made one La Liga appearance, that was way back in September against Celta Vigo. He's made one Copa del Rey appearance, that was at the end of October, which was the latest time that he's actually played recently, and he's also made one Champions League appearance as well. That was back in September against Juventus, when probably the highlight of Jeison Murillo's season was playing a big, big part in the red card that reduced Cristiano Ronaldo to tears against Valencia in the Champions League. And that was basically it. That's all Murillo has done so far this season. He's been completely frozen out at Valencia. He's been completely left out of their last 5 La Liga matchday squads. But let me assure you now, it's nothing at all to do with his quality. It's not the fact that he's on a bad run of form. It's not the fact that in the games that he's played he's made bad mistakes. Nothing at all to do with that. It's all to do with behind the scenes a big falling out with Valencia's coach Marcelino, who's been under real pressure by the Valencia fans. And I have to say, reading on social media, reading in the media in Valencia, a lot of people are very surprised that Murillo is being let go by Valencia. A lot of Valencia fans think that he should still be in their team, or at least in their squad, and they don't really understand why Marcelino is simply casting him aside, because it's very, very strange actually that Marcelino should take issue with Murillo, because like I say, last season the Colombian was his starting centre-back. He was really impressive. Valencia finished inside the top 4, and he was really, really good in their team. So Murillo, when he comes to Barca, he's certainly going to need to get match fit. He's hardly played football this season, but when he does, I think personally, looking at the stats, looking at what he's done, he's established in La Liga, he's pretty experienced throughout his career, and a good centre-back that fits our skill set. He should be a pretty solid all-round option. And so finally, with regard to Murillo at Barcelona, it is time to discuss exactly what kind of role he is going to play when he comes here, should he indeed be called in on a 6-month loan. Well, if all 4 of our centre-backs were fit, I would actually say that he would be rivalling Thomas Vermaelen for, say, 4th choice centre-back, behind the likes of Piqué, Umtiti and Clement Longley. But of course, right now, we don't have anything close to that kind of luxury. Thomas Vermaelen injured for a month, and of course, when he comes back, you can't really rely on him. He's not really going to be somebody who's always going to be fit. When Vermaelen does get back, there's obviously the chance that he could pick another injury as the season goes on. Then there's Samuel Umtiti, really unclear right now what's going on with him. He's currently recovering in Doha from a serious knee injury, which still could require that surgery, which could keep him out until potentially the end of the season. So right now, Murillo would be our 3rd choice centre-back, behind Piqué, behind Lenglet, and then I think it'd be Murillo, and then possibly somebody like Chumi as 4th centre-back. And should either of Piqué or Longley pick up an injury or a suspension as the season goes on, Jeison Murillo would then have the task of stepping up into the starting lineup and becoming a Barcelona player. And especially given that an injury or a suspension could come around at any time, that could be picked up very easily, whether it's a knock, whether it's a suspension from yellow cards or a red card, I would expect to see a decent amount of game time for Murillo over the course of the season, especially when you consider we've got Copa del Rey games right throughout January and February as well. You've got La Liga games, of course, every single weekend, and the new year starts again, and then Champions League matches to come. There are a lot of football to be played, a lot of chances that could come Murillo's way. So as my conclusion, I would say personally, given our desperate situation at centre-back, we've got injuries, there's a lot of doubts right now with the numbers that we have available, we needed to get somebody in, and I actually think here we've made quite a smart decision with this loan deal. Like I say, we bring Murillo in, we'll pay his wages, we'll pay a small loan fee, and at the end of it, he will not hold up anybody's development. He's not going to take a big portion of our transfer budget, nothing like that. It's a loan deal to come in, help us out, a solid defender. He knows La Liga, he's pretty experienced, he's got the right skill set, and there is a part of me that wonders whether Chumi should have been given more of an opportunity. I still really hope that we do see Chumi, as the season goes on, gets minutes to prove himself. We still need to show that our youngsters can come through and make an impact in the first team. That's really important, but I do think over the course of a long and important 6 months to come, Murillo could be a very good addition, a bit of experience, a bit of steel in that back line, and it should help our side that hopes the challenge on all fronts this season. We need all the help we can get, and Murillo to me seems like decent business. But as always guys, I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the imminent signing of Jeison Murillo coming in on loan from Valencia? Let me know all your thoughts and your opinions in the comments down below. Thank you as always for joining me here, and of course, any more news, I'll bring it straight to you with more videos. But until then, as always, Vasca el Barça!